like chipping in and out. I am feeling, so that's a good thing, you know? I'm here, grateful, excited, new, fresh, munching. How are you? Ooh. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. So are you. You're gorgeous as well. You're very welcome. Absolutely. Right. Mhm. Oh, wow. I appreciate you. You can't be. Okay, alright. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm so nervous. I'm like, "What's gonna happen?" Because honestly, okay, like, everybody she did give me the opportunity to, like, choose what I did want from what I didn't want, to ask my comfortability. She's not just bombarding me with this, but I don't wanna prepare anything. I believe that, I like to walk in who I am, and, that's, like, awareness doesn't mean that you don't have missteps, you know? Like, there's a difference between making a mistake and having a misstep. There's a difference, right? So, like, as aware, like, I have a lot of awareness. I just wanna kind of walk in that without preparing it. It's not real. So, anyways. Mhm, mhm. Amen. That's life. Life is raw. Life doesn't deal with you with preparation, you know what I mean? But yeah. We? Who's we? Mhm. Of course you did. Of course you did. Mhm. I I feel like I have 2 parts to this. My first part is we if it's, like, as women, we cannot take anything away from a man, right? I'm just gonna say that first of all. If we're gonna talk about the foundation and the creation of man, we can't take anything away from them, right? I think that once women became more independent and we started to fend for ourselves and all these things, men started to look at it away and they stopped doing things and they found comfort in stopping to do things and therefore we women, us, we then started to take on things which made it feel like it took away from them, but we were just doing what they weren't doing. So, uh, uh, yeah. Right. Mhm, mhm. Of course. Mhm. Yes. Yeah, 100%. I agree, but it's like it's even more simplified than that. I don't even believe it's like in your example, the woman or the more feminine person wouldn't even need to go to the more, masculine person and say, you don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to do this anymore. What's happening is they're just not doing it, right? Or when they're asked to do it, they are not doing it or they're doing it in their timing and they're doing it. And I think a lot of men, unfortunately, because a lot of them like to use the word like, oh, submit, 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 submit. And submitting is not authority. It's not you having authority over me or over a woman. You're supposed to be leading by example. You're supposed to be like we can go on forever, but I think there's just too much ego and too much pride in the wrong way. Because I don't think pride is a bad thing, but the way that the masculine energy has taken on pride and ego, it has made this separation between men and women, and they're just not understanding each other anymore. So women are becoming a lot more guarded, a lot more independent, a lot more knowledgeable as well. And they're just like, no, what the heck? I can do this myself. So it's unfortunate. But hey. Uh-huh. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Absolutely not. No. Yes, yes. If no, it's not even about fronting. It's about, again, like for me and my beliefs and my knowing what I know, um, and also what I've experienced, I could say, and witnessed between either it's my friends who have both parents in the home and it's healthy and stuff like that. Like women by design weren't designed to carry certain things. We're just not. Just because we have the ability to, it doesn't mean that we're supposed to. Just because I can do something, it doesn't mean I'm supposed to do or I should do something, right? So a lot of us women have been operating in a, well, I can do it and I've been used to doing it, so I'm gonna keep doing it because men aren't doing it. And men aren't doing it for so many reasons that like I don't even want to get into because I'm not going to speak for men, but yeah. Yeah, if I'm going to choose, like, don't get me wrong, like, I don't play like the princess, like, "Oh my god, damsel in distress." I don't play that. But if I'm with a man, I'm definitely not gonna be like, "Well, I'm gonna do this because I have a man around, or else why are you here?" And I'm sorry, as like, if anybody who takes offense to that, you really have to check yourself and your character and the type of man that you are, because for me, everything is purpose, everything is interconnected, right? For the better. Like, as a woman, I believe that there are certain things that, only I'm gonna do, and that's okay with me. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? But listen, you know what? But at the same time, I don't believe in gender roles. I will say that. I don't believe in gender roles in terms of like, you know, woman cooks, if who I'm with is the better cooker, they're going to cook. If I'm the person who's better at cleaning the bathroom, Imma clean the bathroom. If he's better at spreading the bed, he finna spread the bed. I don't believe that. Yeah, so you know what I mean? Like, for me as a woman, I don't do garbage. I do not touch, like, I will tie the bag up, but I'm not carrying it out. I'm not doing it, right? Like, especially if I'm with a man, like, or especially if I have a man, like, I'm not doing it. Yeah. Partnership, it's partnership. What a lot of people lack in relationships is partnership, because that is insane if I'm cooking, also washing the dishes after and putting them away, like, what do you think this is? Now, don't get me wrong, there are situations, okay, where I always say, "If you paying all my bills, if you are supporting me 100,000% and I don't gotta go to work, listen, I have no problem. I will change your tires, like, it's okay." Um, yeah. Mhm, mhm. But here's the thing. No, but you would have to, because 'cause you're not an idiot. So you'd have to 1,000% protect yourself. I'm not saying I'd go and be an idiot, first of all. Second of all, I'm not saying that I know everything and I'm all-knowing, but I would know early on, not early on, but I would know before I, give somebody the responsibility of my bills if they're spiteful or not. You know what I mean? Not to say that people can't switch up, they can, but like like I said, I'm not an idiot, so I'm definitely still gonna have, and if you're paying all my bills, anything that I'm making, because we can work from home, we can work from our phones, we can make money. I'm definitely gonna have something, but my person, if they're paying my bills and all that stuff, I'm sure I'm gonna be, there's some bread they're gonna be swinging my way as well. So just saying, I'm here for it. That's just, then you must be married with a prenup or no prenup or something, because that's kind of insane. Like, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I have a backup plan just in case something happens, but shit happens at the end of the day. And people's mind tech them, and one morning they could wake up and be like, you know what? Nah, I actually don't like this. And they can off you, and you're just like, yeah. Ain't no way. Mhm. Yep. Okay. Okay. I have been taken for idiot, and right now I am I am I'm dating. Yeah. Listen, I just hope I don't lose any of my hoes saying that. I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Mhm. I wouldn't even say flamboyant. I wouldn't even say flamboyant. I would just say that they're more in touch with their feminine side, period. That's it. Yeah. I no, I wouldn't be interested in it, but I have been in it, and I have survived through it, and I have Yeah. I'm gonna say survived because you know what? I guess this is raw, so we're just gonna talk the things, but I think that men should be allowed the space to live in that realm. Now, I don't believe just like how men don't like when women rest too much in their masculine energy. We don't like when men rest too much in their feminine, right? But I've never really experienced a man or been with a man who was like that until like recently. And it was a lot because I was like, this ain't no where the man at? Like, you know what I mean? It was like it kind there were some times where it was like, not no, doesn't he's a man. But I'm just saying, like, yo, men go through trauma too. They're hurt. Their parents, you know, batter and bruise them just like us. They go through friendship trauma. They go through a lot of things, ex relationships and stuff, and that does some damage. So I think that men should be allowed the blank pages to rest in that femininity every now and then. It's just about how long they stay there and how they function in that. You know what I mean? Because as when I'm in my like femininity, I'm still very communicative. Like I still talk, I still say, you know what I mean? And I don't think men really can do that well. Like I don't know how to like the words for it, but the duality in that it's like it's super like in their feminine without the healthy conversation part sometimes. And it's like you can't really I'm the only brat here. Like, please. Yeah, yeah. I think that I think that men don't have to like I said, they should be allowed the blank pages to explore their femininity in their like emotions without being judged for it. I don't think that, a lot of women are like, they want men to open up or they want them to cry, but when it looks different, they kind of turn away from that and that's not fair. Like even even look at all these like TikToks and stuff where men are like I love being the little spoon and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people are like, and some men you would look at and you're like, oh my God, you're so big. You know, of course they do. Of course they do. And if I have, and I not if I do have masculine energy, I do. I it's not by choice. I've been working on trying to shred that or shed that. Um, but if that's what I have and he can find safety within that, I'm here for it. I think this should be allowed. I think they should. Mhm. Yeah. Yep. Mhm. 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 I can't hear you if you can you? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, they do. They do. Yeah. Um, If he's balancing you out and you're getting what you want, what's the problem? Now, if the problem is you don't want to be too much, yeah, so if that's not what you want, and you have to have those tough conversations, like, he had like, that person would have to be like, "You know what? You've introduced me to a side of myself that I didn't know existed, and I like it here, so if it doesn't work for you that I'm too feminine, then we call it a quits." And that's what needs to be said. If or if he's like, "You know what? I appreciate you for allowing me to, exist within my femininity, and, I hear what I hear from you is that you need me to, kind of like return to self in the more masculine. Yeah, and then, if he understands that and he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize," but he appreciates it, then you got it's just about the conversation, and it's about the words that you choose. Like, I was very intentional with my example. Like, he has to say 2 different things because it could really be that, "You know what? You introduced me to a side of me I didn't know existed, and I actually like it here. I feel better. I'm a lot less stressed and da 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 da." And there are predominantly more masculine women who would love to be in that type of situation. It's just not you. You can't. Right, so that's the conversation you would have to have, and that's the conversation that I've had to have, you know what I mean? And been like, "I could do it, but, like, I don't like doing it. I don't like being that. I don't believe that I was created to carry that. I believe that I should have the, ability to step in when necessary, but if that's going on for, like, years and years and years or, like, it's like, okay, because then who's taking care of the feminine in you? Like, how there's only so much that because okay, for me, I didn't know that I would love being more of a, like, at home kinda, like, girlfriend, like staying home, cooking, doing the laundry, like, even, like, if, like, he was very handy, like, this guy would, like, watch a YouTube video, like, twice and then, like, do a black splash on the kitchen, like yeah, like, he was just so handy. So, I'd be like, I'm the person that's in the cut, like, "You need some water?" I'm not the person that's like, "Oh, let me get the wrench." No, I'm not doing that. "Can I?" "Sure," but, like, I don't wanna "Here's your water, babe," like, you know what I mean? I also do a lot of things for myself, like, I put on lingerie for no reason, I do my hair for no reason, I will cook in, like, you know what I mean? Something that, I wouldn't wear outside. I do stuff like that for myself, but, like, it's different when you have a man who's assisting you in being that, it just feels different, and I never knew I'd be that because when I tell you I'm a thug, like, anybody will tell you, I'm, like, carrying all the grocery bags, I'm not waiting for no man to help me, like and I remember this lady, I say this lady, but I respect her, that's why, but this, woman I met, her name is Shun, we were in LA, and she was like, "Y'all come take this shit out the car," and I went to the car, and she's like, "Not you, girl," she's like, "Let the men do it," and I was like, "Oh, my bad," like my bad, and she's like, "What the hell?" And then we had went to, Mexico. I was supposed to perform for New Year's out there, and she saw one of my nails and it broke, and she's like, "What were you doing?" And I was like, "I lifted my suitcase." She was like, "Where was your man at?" And I was like, "Ah," but I know. I really was working on it, and even, like, the same guy, he would literally give me this look anytime I would go pick up the bags, like, "What are you doing?" Like, so I'm like, "Sorry." Mhm, 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 mhm. Okay. Mhm. Uh, Buffering. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I was always trying to prove that I was willing to help, and it's not always something that's necessary. It's like, why are you always trying to prove that you can help? I believe he knows that by now. It's just he doesn't need me to help. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't need me to help, and at the end of the day, the partnership in that is he carries the groceries inside and I put them away, right? Because yeah, so it's like, I don't really need to carry everything in, but I've also been in the place where like, yo, like this nigga would just like watch me do everything, and I'm like, "You really not going? You really not going? You really not going? You really not going?" You know, within the same guy. You know what I mean? Some there's those moments where it's like, you know what I mean? But yeah, yeah, but right. How often are we gonna do this? You have sometimes you do have to explain what your consistency looks like, you know what I mean? Because if it is every day, what does that look like for you? What does that everyday effort look like for you, right? Those are conversations you have to have. Like for me, excuse me, with the same guy that I was talking to, it was like I had to be like, I do like when my door's opened for me. I do like when I'm walked to the car. I do like that if I am picking up the groceries that like I met in the driveway or I met at the door to take it. You know what I mean? Like I had because especially if you're coming from where you guys were just friends and not really intentionally dating, you're not necessarily teaching him how to treat you. You guys are just hanging out and getting to know each other. So, when you're getting to the stage of like, "Okay, I think we're gonna do this intentionally," you have to tell him now because he's gonna be like, "Yo, we've been friends for like 5 years and I never like I didn't know you wanted that." So, conversations, they're important. They're important. That sounds like an incomplete question. What do you mean more submissive to what? I really don't understand the question. 'Cause what is he submitting to? The fact that she wants that I wanna be more independent? Okay, so if I wanna be more independent and I'm talking to my man and I'm like, "I wanna be more independent," and he's like, "Well, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm still gonna do what I wanna do for you." I don't think that a man needs to change anything he's doing for a woman to be independent. Why would he have to change anything? Because a real man, if anything, he's gonna say, "Listen, well, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing for you, and you can do whatever you want with it. Here's your independence." What? Do we have to what? You can't. You people okay, like, I understand that oh my gosh, I hope this is not gonna get me in trouble. No, like, I understand that there are so many different types of relationships. There are people who are together with no title, but they're both committed to each other and they don't wanna get married, but they're not gonna date anybody else. There are people who have multiple partners. There are people I understand that. That's great. I welcome it all for it like, if you love it, if you like it, I love it. If you're for it, I adore it, okay? That's fine. But for me, as a straight woman, it's just things are just different for me, right? So, is it possible for it to go the other way? 100%. But for me, and understanding purpose and understanding creation, that doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. Now, again, like I said earlier with the other question that we talked about, do I have to have the ability to maneuver and pick up, of course. Of course. Your your man is not always gonna be at a 10. It's sometimes and Michelle Obama talked about this. It's not always gonna be 50-50. Sometimes she said she was 70 for, like, 6 years, and he you know what I mean? Like, come on. If it feels like homework, when you just don't wanna do homework and you're always like, you need to have that real conversation, number 1, with yourself, and then to be like, "Yo, is this the person that I wanna be with?" 'Cause here's the truth, like, although you can although you can say to somebody like, "Yo, this is a lot of work to do," and you can also say, "But I don't wanna do it." Right? So yeah, right. But But even if like, okay, when we were talking about what consistency looks like for people, like, so let's say you tell your man, like, consistency for me on a day-to-day basis looks like this. And let's say he does it Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday comes and he doesn't do something. He could also be like, hey, babe, I'm not feeling this today, or I'm just not in the space to do this today, and done. It doesn't have to be like everything is about communicating. That's all I'm saying. Like, I over communicate. It's not hard. It's not hard. Mhm. And then and it's all because you didn't have a conversation. Because you wouldn't feel used if you just had the conversation and then you know what I mean? And I always like to say, don't there's a difference between answering and replying. Some people reply to what you say, but they don't necessarily answer it. So you end up having conversations, but they're just conversations. Like there's no action plan after. There's no and I found myself in that a lot. And I'm like, why does it feel like I have all these healthy ass conversations, but things keep happening still? Yeah, it's like, okay, what am I missing here? You know what I mean? So a lot of trial and error. I'm here. Mhm. There's like my mind has gone so many places for this answer and reply. I feel like people need to date people like, okay, my pastor says this a lot, like, people choose from pain and not purpose, right? And also is because I can't hear you yet though. Where did it cut off? Okay, so I think ultimately what I'm saying is I believe that if people choose from purpose and not pain, then they won't have a lot of the issues that they're having, right? Also, there's another gentleman that I listen to and read his books. He's dead now, but his name is Dr. Miles Monroe. He likes to say, "How good you are in your singleness is how you will be in your relationships." And I don't believe that enough people, men, women, spend enough time alone to figure out who they are before they jump into a relationship because you hear it sounds cliche. It used to sound so cliche to me, like, "Oh, you don't get in a relationship for someone to fix you or for someone to make you happy. They assist in your happy because you gotta be happy." But it's true. So, it's just like if you are I don't know, but, like, I just think that people need to die to their preferences, stop always dating your preference because something else my pastor likes to say is he says, "Pain comes wrapped in preferences." You know what I mean? If you're always choosing your preference and the same things keep happening, it's because you're choosing from that. If you find a purpose partners, it's a real thing, you know what I mean? And if you have a purpose partner, you're not gonna be like, "Oh my god, I'm always in my masculine or he's stripping me from my" No, no. At the end of the day, men need to get back to the root of understanding their position as men, period, right? They need to die to all this ego and pride thing because it's not authority. You need to know how to lead your person, okay? And right. And because of me, I mean, like, I believe in God, right? So I believe that a man should be submissive to God, and if he is, we're not gonna you shouldn't have the issues that you're gonna like, you shouldn't have I'm not gonna say that they won't come up, obviously they will. I'm not a relationship guru, I'm not married yet, you know what I mean? But, like but, like, I've learned a lot, and I've been applying what I've been learning, um, you know what I mean? Even me saying, like, I'm dating, like, I am like, I'm dating, you know what I mean? So, um, yeah, I think I have it figured out in terms of who I am and who I need and who is going to assist me in my development. Like, and who I'm going to be able to have this safe and healthy atmosphere to help them grow as well. So, yeah. Stop this. I don't think we can help them understand that. Oh, oh, a lot of a lot of people do not talk about this enough because men and women, 'cause women be throwing shade at women for the things that men do as well, right? So a lot of men like to talk about women and daddy issues, right? Men have a lot of mommy issues. So what happens is when we as women believe that we are attempting to teach or, show the man where they are lacking awareness and accountability, they think we're trying to son them. They think we're trying to be their mom or their grandma, and it's like, first of all, even if you look at it that way, that tells me, number 1, the way you are reacting, you don't have a healthy relationship with your mom or your grandmother, or else you would be receptive to what I'm saying, right? So, again, I'm not saying to not make the attempt in trying to hold men accountable. All I'm saying is it gets to a point where it's kinda like remorse fatigue. At some point, you're gonna get tired of doing that, and for 2 people who, let's say, they both come from broken homes, right? Let's say they both come from broken homes. How do you want that person to receive how you're responding to them they're just trying to hold you accountable. Why are you acting like that? It's weird. It's weird. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, not everything, because I mean, it will tell you enough because before you get close to somebody, you have to see how they handle conflict, right? Like, that's one of my questions when, like, first date, like, how do you handle conflict? Because like, I just wanna even hear how they describe that. You know what I mean? Like, those are one of the questions that I'd like to ask, but, um, yeah, I feel like it will tell you everything, but, like, you shouldn't judge it. They coulda just been having a bad day too. I've had a lot of bad days, and I've said something where I snapped, and it was like, "Okay, I know that wasn't me," but Oh, I am able to this is gonna sound so bad. Okay, no. No, listen, I'm not saying I can't, but okay, so let me go back a little bit. I okay, I feel like if I'm upset in my day, right, from something that has nothing to do with him or do with, whoever, and they ask me something and I snap on them, yes, I can definitely be like, "Okay, you didn't deserve that. I apologize, just had a rough day," for sure. But if I'm upset in the day because of you and I've given you several chances, and then I finally like, I actually snap on you that day, I'm not coming to you being like, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that, da 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 da." I'm not always the first one. I'm working on that, and here's why. Because you pissed me off. It was you. If you didn't do what you did, because 'cause you're judging my reaction instead of us talking about what you did. You know what? I can't really respond to that because for me, I feel like if he was trying to talk to me, he would know how to talk to me. Like, there are ways when people try to talk to you, but it's still very, like, sarcastic or, like Or like yeah, or like you're you're antagonizing me, like, no, no. So, that's what I mean. Yeah. Yes, but typically, I'm not gonna lie, like, I was very I was very, like, "I'm never wrong" kinda girl. Like, I don't wanna say never wrong, but I'm rarely wrong, and, like, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm telling you how I feel. I feel like I'm very direct, I'm very honest, I'm very transparent, and I feel like if you piss me off, it's something that you did. Like you honestly had to have I don't like when you wanna only judge my reaction to what you did. How about let's talk about what you did first before you talk about my reaction? That's that's what I mean, and a lot of people don't like to do that because again, I'm a very simple you know exactly what I'm here for, what I'm doing, you know. So if you piss me off and I snap in a way where it's like I actually have to be like, "Okay, I'm sorry. You did something wrong. So let's talk about that first before we talk about my reaction." You can call me a brat because of that, and I will take that, that's fine, but yeah. Yeah, no, but that's different. No, I don't. I understand. No, no, I understand, and at the end of the day, again, I'm not oh my god, it sounds so bad to say a man okay, what I have what I have learned is that why there is a we're not gonna call it a disconnect, but for layman's terms, I guess, the disconnect between men and women in communication is because, they say we're more emotional and men are more logic, right? Which is true to a state because we feel conversations, right? We're experiencing a conversation. Where men, they just receive information. They're just receiving information, they're not experiencing it, right? So, if a man were to respond to you the way you would respond to him, you're experiencing that, so you feeling a way makes sense. A man responding to me the way I would to him, it that doesn't make sense, I'm gonna be like, "What's going on here?" He's giving me emotion, I react to emotion, 'cause that's what I take, right? So, why I don't get upset is because he's communicating I'm just receiving, information from him. I don't take it as emotion, right? So but that's because remember, I have the ability I have duality, like, it's literally equal sometimes with the masculine, like, a lot of women are when they say, "Leave me alone," they don't mean it, I mean it. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Because here's the thing, one thing I don't like is if we are in a heated conversation or if I'm really upset about something, do not come after me. Do not try to talk to me. Leave me alone. And I always say, I do not want to say anything to you or speak to you in a way that you do not deserve. Please give me some space. I'm fine. I just need some space. And if you don't listen to that, I'm so Mhm, mhm. No, I yeah, 1,000%. I've even been like, if someone has said something and I'm, like, not in a space where I can reply, I've been like I don't have the words right now, or I don't have the capacity to have this conversation right now. Like like I said, it's over communicating is a real thing. I do it all the time because I don't want anybody to ever be like, well, all you have to do is just say that. I'm gonna say it. So yeah. You can come in. I know. Um, I think if I'm gonna just choose anything, it's not any it's before it's about anybody else, it's about you first, right? So like when we talked about how good you are in your singleness is how good you'll be in a relationship. You gotta get to know yourself, man. You really do. Like you really, really, really do, because that's the only way you're gonna know how to teach somebody to handle you. So um yeah, that's it. Mm. What I know. Um, no. If you wanna keep up with me, you can follow me on Instagram, Sleepless in Toronto. Um, this was cool, and I just hope that whatever gems you take, that you also apply. Don't just take in information to, like, know. But yeah, I had fun. Thank you. No. Hey. 1000%. Thank you. Have a great night.